Hello everyone, I Minakshi Bajaj welcome you to my channel. If you are new to my channel, then surely subscribe and turn on the notification bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video lecture. Human resource management is a very important function of an organization. In the previous video lecture, I have already explained its meaning, definition and objectives. If you have missed that lecture, I have provided the link in the description box. Today we will move further and discuss about evolution of the concept of HRM. To explain the topic thoroughly, I am going to include many examples to explain each and every stage. HRM concepts that we study nowadays are modern concepts. This is a result of transformation of personnel function. This modern concept has been developed through a number of stages. If you look at the slide, you will find out that there are in total 6 stages. I will explain all these stages with examples. Then you will understand that how the new concept has been evolved. We will start with the commodity stage. Commodity concept was evolved at the time of Industrial Revolution. When Industrial Revolution came, it resulted into factory system. Factory owners used to appoint managers. The managers used to manage the entire factory, employ people, get work from them. This resulted a breakup between the owners and the employees. Because of this breakup, the labor began to feel that they are no more important. Even in the factories, they were considered to be a commodity, like other goods, which can be bought and sold. The close-knitted relationship, which was there before this concept, was completely over. The wages were also based on demand and supply system. If the demand was more, wages was more. In case there was a shortage of supply, the wages were more. If the supply used to go up, the wages were decreased by the managers. Now you must be thinking, what about the rights of the workers? As their wages were fluctuating, it means that the government was completely silent. Or you can say that there was minimum role of the government to protect the rights of the workers. All the decisions were in the hands of the owners. They used to decide when they are going to increase the wages and when they are going to decrease the wages. So that was the commodity concept. After that, second stage was evolved. It was factor of production concept. As we know that there are various factors of production and labor was simply one of them. Like in a factory, there is a need of money, material and land. Similarly, there was a need of labor. They were not given any special treatment at the workplace. Workers were simply treated like machine tools. This was the time when Taylor gave scientific management's concept. In that concept, he stressed that there should be a proper selection of labor, right person on right job. There is a need of training for the employees. And what was the basic reason behind these two things? The basic reason was to maximize employees' productivity. This concept was a bit better than the commodity concept, or I can say that it was an improvement as the employees gained through better working conditions. Their earnings were also increased because in the Taylor's scientific management, he stressed that if we want good productivity from the employees, we should also give them proper working conditions. After the factor of production, the things were changing. Now the employees organized together. They were very firm that if they unite together, only then they can ask for their rights. They were learning the importance of collective bargaining. The state government, or I should say the central government, also recognized that the workers has right. They have a right to get protected in their environment. All these forces worked together and gave birth to parentalistic concept. As the employees were showing their strength, they were showing that they all have a common interest. Trade unions were formed. This all resulted into parentalistic concept. The employers changed their mentality. They assumed the role of a fatherly figure. Employers started taking care of their labor and their employees, just like a father who takes care of his children. Welfare schemes were launched for the employees. Now let's study this concept with the help of an example. In this example, I have taken that how the mentality of an employer changes the working of an organization. Example is about Mr. Alok, who is the owner of a factory. He looks after the needs and aspirations of his employees. Time to time, he helps them, guides them to do their work, and protect their rights too. See, what is he saying? He is saying that I have reduced the number of working hours. I have also designed a pension plan for you people so that you all can have a good and a safe retirement life. Monthly get togethers will also be arranged. Now you must be seeing that these all things are about taking care of the employees. These are all welfare schemes. There can be health facilities, recreation facilities, group insurance schemes, or housing facilities for the employees. What will be the result of the attitude of Mr. Alok on his factory employees? According to his attitude, it is very clear that he strives for the social welfare of his employees. Mr. Alok believes that if he provides a good social environment, this will affect the productivity. The physical needs like health is taken care of. The psychological needs like recreation, get together, all these facilities are there. The staff will feel that the company takes care of them and the result will be better productivity. In this concept, both employers and employees understood one thing, that they cannot survive without each other. There were great results. The problems that were created by labor union movement were cleared out. Moreover, there was control on the ever increasing demands of the workers. Now it was not a compulsion rather than a philosophy. Now, one thing is very clear, that in the parentalistic approach, the employer was providing benefits to the employees. But all these benefits were materialistic in nature. So, the industrial psychologist pointed out that the employees are interested not in material rewards, rather, they need psychological and social satisfaction too. This gave birth to humanitarian concept. Let's see what it was all about. Humanitarian concept pointed out one very important thing, that organization is a social system. It means that it not only economic, social dimensions should also be completely taken care of. At this point only, Hawthorne experiments were going on, which were completely based on studying about what is the basic reason behind human problems at workplace. The companies were getting one point very clearly, that the management need to focus on human relations. Physical conditions are very important, but human relations are even more important. If a company wants productivity, it has to take care of many things. In the slide, you can see I have pointed out the important factors. The very first is social factors. What kind of environment, what kind of people are there in the organization? Now the another important thing is leadership. What is the attitude of the leader? What kind of supervision? Is he lenient? Is he collaborative? Or is he take care of his team properly? Then is group formation. How groups are formed. Is the group helpful? What is the influence of group on the workers? Communication. The channels of communication should be two-way. If it is there, it will lead to greater productivity. To understand this concept, let's consider an example. The example is about Mr. Rajan, who believes that it is his duty to protect his employees' right. Whenever there is any problem in his organization, he takes a keen interest to resolve that problem. Once there was a big problem in his organization. He recruited a new employee, Miss Neha, and she told him that the fellow colleagues are often making fun of her and it is very difficult for her to work in such kind of depressive organization. As Mr. Rajan is very much concerned about his employees, he took a strict action. He called a meeting and told everyone that there is no tolerance for bullying. If anyone bullies a co-worker, he or she will be suspended. It is clear from the example that in humanitarian concept it was laid down that social and psychological satisfaction are equally important if an organization wants that their employees should be committed and loyal towards them. This was the time when several studies were conducted. All these studies had one focus, that is to analyze and understand the human behavior. This gave one important concept to the organization, that was about behavioral sciences. Proper scientific methods were used to study the problems which an individual or group is creating because of his behavior at work. So let's see that what this concept is all about. In this concept, employees were considered to be the most valuable assets of an organization. Focus was to understand human behavior. By understanding human behavior, the companies were trying to match employees' goals with the organizational goals. Studies were done on group dynamics, how a group works, what is to be done to increase the motivation level of the employees. What is organizational conflict? How it can be dealt with? How it can be made constructive for the organization? These were the concepts which were gaining popularity in this time. In this concept, efforts were made to integrate the employees, integrate them with the organizational goals. Please see in the slide that the emphasis was on self-direction, self-control, enhancing creativity. When goals were set, there was a participative management, joint with consultations. Informal groups were formed. There was two-way communication. Management by objectives was also launched in this time. After behavioral concept, we come to emerging concept. Let's study this concept in detail too. In the emerging concept, the employees were made to believe that the company is their own. People are the prime source. This is the only source with which an organization can work effectively and achieve its goals. The status of personnel department was increasing. It is now called Human Resource Department. The focus was on development, how to grow, how to make HRM as a career, a specialization. Employees were now considered to be the partners in the industry. They were given the shares of the company so that they can feel that they are the members of the company. Managers were given better quality of working life. Opportunities were ever increasing. The companies used to work to develop the potential of the managers. This resulted into a feeling of belongingness. With this, all the concepts are complete and I hope you have gained complete clarity of the topic. So stay connected, do like, share, and subscribe. We will meet very soon.